I don't know whether it's a torch or it's a train light or it's a moonlight or it's a sunlight. But definitely there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel, such that probabilities are that if all administration goes as we have started with them yesterday, probabilities are that on Monday we might be able to secure the attendance of a witness, my lord. We have started the process yesterday with the office manager. I think as we're speaking now, they're still busy with the process of trying to acquire all the dynamics and the modalities relating to the coming of that witness, my lord. May I therefore indicate that probabilities, as I'm saying, are that we could be able to proceed on Monday next week. May I therefore request that the matter be adjourned to Monday on the probabilities that we could be proceeding, my lord.
So you have lined up how many witnesses Monday?
It is only that witness, my lord, because we don't know how long the testimony of that witness will last and up until its completion, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Yes, okay.
You just heard there, Advocate Mnisi. That was on Friday when the case had resumed. So nothing really happened on Friday because there was no witness to follow after Kwabini. And some of you are saying Advocate Mnisi is wasting time. You should have brought another witness, but that's not possible. Remember that last year, your judge, Ufazile Rata, said he wants Abu Brigadier Gininda, Maphumulo, and Makhola to come back and explain how did they arrest Kwabini. He wanted to hear their side of the story. Remember that Kwabini has accused them of torturing him in order for him to sign that fake statement where he wrote an S. So this judge had said Gininda must come back and explain. So Mnisi had told his witnesses to hold back because they were not going to testify in the first weeks of this trial this year. This judge now, at the beginning of this year, is saying, you know, I misdirected when I said Ababuye or Gininda. So Mnisi now has to rush and find those witnesses. So umuntu okhoza le delay, it is now so-called judge, because if he had ruled correctly last year, then there was no need for this confusion. Mnisi was going to bring Kwabini and then follow up with another witnesses in time. But because this judge had said figure Gininda, so Mnisi had told his witnesses, okay, you can go to work, I'll call you maybe in 3 weeks' time. But now he has to rush now and organize accommodation and so on. So this so-called judge is actually the one that is causing this delay because he doesn't know which is left or right. But anyway, a sequel up. So now Kwabini has concluded his evidence in court, and it's clear that the state had fabricated that statement in order to implicate accused 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. That's it. In the statement, they wanted Kwabini to come before court and say these men were at the hostel on the 26th of October 2014. But Kwabini came to court and told us that Notable Zungu is lying through his teeth because these men were not there in 2014. He said they rather were at his house in 2017, which is years later after Senzomiwe had died. So state was very upset because now that contradicts their theory of the intruder, and that totally contradicts the evidence that was provided by that liar, Constable Zungu. So Constable Zungu's evidence was now brought to doubt by Kwabini. And Advocate Vasel Mbalo tried his best to discredit Kwabini by presenting that statement where he is saying Kwabini signed. But Kwabini said, my lord, when I signed a statement, it was after I was tortured at the Golden Spot. So I signed it only to save my life, which is the same thing that was done by Umoantans and Musibiya. So Kwabeni was tortured in order to sign the statement. So we know for a fact now what the state uses the same tactics that they used on Tans and Sibiya to get evidence, because they have no evidence of their own. They are all about fabricating. So now, Kwabeni said, Constable Zungu lied when he said he was there at his house in 2014. So that's something that is very important. Even if these guys are found guilty, when the case goes on appeal, the judges there at the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein will have sight of this evidence by Kwabeni and see that he created reasonable doubt in the state case because he's saying these guys were not there in 2014. Remember that the entire state's case is that the murder and the execution of Senzo Meyiwa was planned at Kwabeni's house. Now, Kwabeni has came to court and told us that amanga now, there is no such. So that brings into doubt everything that was said by Constable Zungu. Remember, Constable Zungu is a state star witness that said he was there in 2014. He said he went to Kwabeni's house at about 2 p.m. Said he was driving a police vehicle. He arrived there. They ate meat, and then they celebrated, and then drank alcohol, and then later on they went to refill at Tops. But we know for a fact that Tops on Sundays they close very early, so it was not possible for them to refill at Tops on the day, because Tops closes early on Sunday because the law says so. So that's another first lie by Constable Zungu, goodbye Tops. So a smart judge will see that. And then he said at about 6 p.m., these guys left the hostel and came back after 9 p.m. carrying guns and wearing hoodies. And then he said, Bongani Ntanzi said Senzo Meyiwa has died. And he said that before it was announced in the news. So that is when he concluded that these men were involved in the death of Senzo Meyiwa, because he said when it was announced, it was shocked, Senzo has been killed. So he said should be involved, because that is the only way that they would know which Senzo was shot. But she has a manga now, because Zungu kept quiet for about 4 years. And remember, Zungu is a policeman. As a policeman, if he's aware of any crime, you're obliged to report it immediately. But Yena, he kept quiet for 4 years. So to me, it's an indication that it's a story that was created with the likes of Brigadier Gininda and Overseldin. It never happened. And remember that up to this day, the state has failed to produce the AVL record of the police car. Will bring us into confidence with, okay, Kwabeni Constable Zungu was there, but Baloyi is saying they do not have the AVL of their car, which is a lie, because we know which all police cars are fitted with an AVL. How do we know that? We were told by General Kumal when he testified in the Matang Commission. He said all police vehicles are fitted with an AVL. So Ubaloyi there is lying to the court, because he knows with the AVL record of that vehicle that was driven by Constable Zungu would prove that he was not at the hostel. And furthermore, we know how Constable Zungu lying, the state has failed to provide his telephone records. His telephone records were going to show which at this time his cell phone pinged at the hostel. But because the state is lying, they did not bring it. So that's how we know Constable Zungu is lying. So now Kwabeni comes to court and says, my lord, Constable Zungu is lying, Unamanga. So he has corroborated the fact that these men were not there. They were not at that house. If they were there at that house, such evidence, the AVL and telephone record, would prove the state's case. So Kwabeni, I think his evidence will help the defense in a long way, because even if they are found guilty, I think at the Supreme Court of Appeal, once they view evidence, they'll see there's doubt in this case. There is doubt in the story that was told by Constable Zungu. Remember that the defense does not need to prove that these guys are innocent. They merely have to create reasonable doubt. Their story should just be Uguchi. It is highly possible true, or Uguchi, it may not be. It means Uguchi in the Jewish state call. So if there's doubt this happened, then the judges are forced to acquit these guys. But I believe uGwabini, Uma H, that creates reasonable doubt in the state store. So the judge there has to acquit, because now we don't know for certain which these guys planned the shooting of Mayo at that house. If Gwabini is saying they were not there, so that should be a doubt enough to acquit these guys if we're a judge. But I'm hopeful that once the case is taken to the Supreme Court of Appeal, that will be taken into account. Not forgetting the evidence of Absalom Zungu, because he told us his son told him, Baba, I only testified in the Mayo case because I was promised a promotion within the SAPS. Furthermore, Absalom Zungu said Brigadier Gininda took him somewhere where they forced him to sign that so-called statement. So we know now, one, Brigadier Gininda is also discredited, and Constable Zungu has been discredited. So those were the key state witnesses that now we are not sure what they are saying is truthful or not, because of such evidence by Absalom Zungu and Gwabini. Remember that if the state cannot prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, then the judge has to acquit. And remember that the gun that was allegedly used to shoot Meyiwa, he is also in doubt, because those that were in the house are saying the gun that shot Meyiwa had a will, which means it was a revolver, not the 9mm that was tested by Chris Mangena. So that is another doubt in this case. So I think if we're the fair judge, these guys were going to be acquitted. So now, on Monday, UMNIS will bring in a second witness that will further prove that these guys are innocent. I think Gwabini played his role, Absalom Zungu played his role, because those two prove that, firstly, the police used dirty tactics to get evidence. That was the main evidence, Gwabini and Absalom Zungu, to discredit the police as well as Constable Zungu. This is very important. Now, the witness that will follow will further discredit some more facts about this case. Nisi said it's a she, so I suspect that it's going to be the Mbali that was allegedly using the ATM card of Ulo Umusibi. I'm hoping it's her, because that will now discredit the so-called ATM records, because now Ulo Umusibi is saying, he was not at Joburg at the time. So the person that was using her, his ATM card was Mbali. So if Mbali comes to court and say, yes, my lord, it was me that was using the cards, in an absence of video which shows us ATM, then we'd have to believe Mbali. If he says, my lord, yes, I was the one that was using the ATM, there's no way that the state can prove what she's lying or not being honest. So that will be very important for Musibi Ugutsige. He must get a witness that will discredit that ATM records, because if Mbali says it was me, then it means Musibi will tell the truth with at goal at that time. So now, if Moses' alibi is proven to be truthful, then it will create more doubt in the state case. Umusibi, he could not have been in Foslo on the day the Tenzo was shot. So I'm hoping with anticipation to see which witness comes on Monday, but in Mnisi, I believe. So create more doubt, then the state case will furthermore fall into tatters. Because now it is very important that as Mosibia, he must debunk the story and the show Baloyi. So in doing so, his alibi will be very crucial. It should be very important to Ashuti, and I was not there. But I'm happy for accused number 3 because his alibi is easily proven because his telephone record says at the same time when Sesame was shot, his cell phone pinged in Johannesburg CBD, meaning that he was not in Fosoras. So Ukada Mngube, it is not possible for him to have been the shooter of me if he was in Johannesburg CBD. Remember, the distance between Foster and Johannesburg CBD, it is far apart. So the alibi, I think, is secured. So now it is the others, Nababani, that needs to prove that they were not at the crime scene. So Monday, hopefully, it's going to be Mbali. Then, if it's not Mbali, because he said it's a she, it could be Joyce Buthelezi. Joyce Buthelezi is the one that opened Docket 375 alongside Ubani, Warren of Samakubo. If it's her, then it's also good because Buthelezi and Makubo will discredit Ukininda furthermore because they were part and parcel of the investigation of the Moyo case from the start. Joseph Buthelezi knows how Brigadier Kininda operated. He will tell the court, which, my lord, as police investigators, we differed in terms of evidence. So, which these guys that have been charged by Baloyi are not the actual shooters of Mayu. Buthelezi will further tell the court, which how and why did she open Docket 375. That will further prove or bring into doubt the state case because now she will contradict Brigadier Kininda in certain aspects of the case. So I'm hoping that she comes to court and speak her mind because remember that after she opened Docket 375, she was also demoted from her position because if you default the state narrative, the state deal with you decisively. So she was demoted, and obviously if you are demoted, you suffer financially because your salary is reduced. So I'm hoping that she tell the court why they believe that the people that were in the house are the actual people that knows the truth. And she will tell us once they given the file to Baloyi, wenzani uBaloyi. That is very important to discredit also this so-called state prosecutor because he is all about finding these guys guilty. But if he's discredited, then the court might see, maybe Baloyi is not telling the truth here because Buthelezi uthi. So I'm hoping that it could be her or Mbali. And thereafter, one of Samakubo also need to come and tell the court what happened when he arrived at Baloyi's office. Remember that he testified during the trial. He said once he had done his investigation, he left the file with Baloyi, and Baloyi was with Ukininda. He said he refused to charge these guys, but failed to provide any reasonable explanation. And Makub will further tell the court how Kininda allegedly stole a statement from a docket. Remember that Makubo opened a case against Kininda of defeating the ends of justice. Makubo alleged that Kininda stole statements from the docket. So stealing a statement, it is a crime. And Makubo is saying Kininda stole statements sika ulo uHlophe. Hlope is the one that alleged that on the day Senzo was shot, Dumela Madlala phoned him and told him that Longotwal shot and unalive Senzo Miyonge put. So that is the statement that was allegedly stolen by Ukininda. It was brought years later after Fiso Mayu had made noise about it. So Makubo, once he tells the court that story of how Ukininda tried to hide the statement, it will further discredit Ukininda as a witness. he cannot be trusted by a court of law because his conduct is not becoming of a brigadier or a police officer. So Makubo and I will be very important. And thereafter, Makubo, I'm not sure who will come because abanye abantu, it seems that like they are scared to come and testify before this court because they know if they come and testify, the state will deal with them. Remember that Ukwabini, after he testified last year, she was shot in the leg. And I strongly believe that there was a hit or a warning to say, Kwabini, if you continue to do this, we're going to deal with you decisively. And that was also a threat to other potential witnesses, which if you come to court and testify, we're going to deal with you. So I suspect some of the different witnesses will be scared to come before court because they know that their life will be in danger because the state operates that way. And I'm sure that now Kwabini is certified, they're going to charge him. Clearly, they're going to charge him for that gun matter. Remember that Kwabini said when they came to court, when they came to arrest him at night, it was Maphumulo and others. He said, Maphumulo put a gun under his bed. So they were trying to plant evidence against Kwabini. So they wanted Kwabini to be charged for that gun matter or have Kwabini to testify. So they were actually blackmailing Kwabini to testify against this man. That is why they planted the gun under his bed. But now, because he has turned a different witness, they'll use that evidence of that fake gun or planting of a gun against him. So I think Kwabini will be charged and then also be charged Uguti. He signed a statement saying something else, but when he came to court, he said something else. So they charge him for, I think it's called defeating the end of justice and also lying under oath. That's what they're gonna do. But we know that Kwabini, when he signed, he was tortured. So it's another story, but we know what he is one. So other witnesses, I think they're gonna be intimidated because of that. But we shall see what goes on.